Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more detailed videos. Michael and Jacinda's possible future as a couple has become one of the most talked about subjects in the General Hospital fan community. The buzz isn't just because they've been sharing more screen time together lately, but because of the subtle way the writers are layering their interactions. Viewers are noticing looks, pauses, and carefully chosen lines that suggest there's more beneath the surface. While soap audiences are always primed to speculate about the next romantic pairing, the case of Michael and Jacinda is interesting because it's not an obvious or recycled match. They don't have a long history together, nor are they being thrust into a storyline with all the usual soap cliches. Instead, the chemistry is emerging slowly, almost cautiously, and that makes fans wonder whether this could actually become something real. When Michael interacts with Jacinda, his energy is noticeably different from his dynamic with other characters. Michael tends to be written as straightforward, responsible, and even a little predictable. He's often caught between family drama and his responsibilities as a father. Most of the time, his scenes involve him reacting to crises rather than driving them. But Jacinda seems to bring out a lighter, freer side of him. Their conversations aren't weighed down by the same family baggage that comes with so many of his other relationships. That alone creates a sense of possibility. Because for Michael to grow as a character, he needs a partner who can break him out of the same cycles he's been stuck in for years. For Jacinda, the situation is different. She's still being written into the canvas, finding her footing, and not everyone is sure how she fits into the larger Port Charles landscape. With new characters, General Hospital tends to test them with a variety of dynamics before deciding who sticks and who doesn't. By giving Jacinda scenes with Michael, the writers are testing whether viewers respond to the chemistry. And the response so far has been mixed but curious. Some fans feel the spark is undeniable, while others are cautious about whether Jacinda has staying power. The key factor is whether her connection with Michael can feel authentic rather than manufactured. One of the biggest indicators that the writers may be serious about exploring this pairing is the way they've been scripting small moments that don't necessarily drive a major plot but linger with emotional weight. For instance, their casual conversations often reveal a vulnerability that neither character shows with others. When Jacinda talks to Michael, she doesn't treat him like a Corinthos with baggage or a Quartermain tied to corporate drama. She treats him like an individual. And Michael, in turn, listens to her without the defensiveness he often displays when family politics are involved. That alone makes their interactions feel refreshing. The real question is whether this dynamic can survive the pressure of General Hospital's constant chaos. Every couple on the show is tested, often in ways that are extreme. Betrayals, secrets, mob wars, medical crises, and corporate takeovers are par for the course. If Michael and Jacinda do become a couple, the writers will inevitably put them through these trials. The question isn't whether they'll face obstacles, it's whether their foundation is strong enough to survive them. Right now, they're at the stage where their foundation is being quietly built. If the writers intend to give them a serious shot, they'll need to layer in conflict that tests their bond without destroying it prematurely. Fans who support the idea of Michael and Jacinda often point out that Michael's past relationships, while dramatic, haven't offered much growth. He's been written as a romantic lead before, but those stories usually circle back to family drama or tragic endings. Pairing him with Jacinda could allow him to step into something different, a relationship not entirely defined by his last name or his loyalty to the mob world. It could give him a chance to rediscover himself as a character outside of the same old narrative cycles. For Jacinda, the benefit of this pairing would be immediate legitimacy on the canvas. Many new characters struggle to find a foothold unless they're connected to an established family or romantic interest. By aligning her with Michael, Jacinda would instantly gain relevance. Viewers who might otherwise dismiss her as a background player would have a reason to pay attention. That doesn't mean her story should be defined only by romance, but it does mean that this pairing could secure her place in Port Charles in a way no amount of solo storylines could. Skeptics, however, argue that the pairing may be too convenient. They question whether Jacinda is being fast-tracked into a romance just to justify her presence, rather than being allowed to stand on her own. Some fans feel that Michael doesn't need another love interest at the moment, considering how much he already has on his plate. Between his responsibilities as a father, his complicated family ties, and his occasional involvement in the mob-adjacent storylines, adding a romance could feel like one more layer of drama he doesn't have room for. Critics suggest that Jacinda might be better served developing friendships and rivalries first before being locked into a relationship. There's also the matter of chemistry. Chemistry in soaps is subjective. What one viewer sees as electric, another might view as flat. Michael has had chemistry with several characters in the past, and not all of those potential pairings have worked out. The test with Jacinda is whether their connection can sustain not just playful or vulnerable moments, but also high-stakes drama. It's easy for characters to share sparks in casual conversations, but real soap couples are forged in the fire of conflict. Whether Jacinda and Michael can deliver on that front remains to be seen. Another layer of speculation is how the rest of the canvas would react to them as a couple. Michael's family is notoriously opinionated about his romantic life, and anyone he dates is inevitably pulled into court-of-main politics, Corinthos rivalries, and family expectations. Would Jacinda be able to withstand that? Could she navigate the complicated dynamics of being linked to Michael without losing her individuality? This is a critical question, because one of the most common pitfalls in soap storytelling is when a new character gets swallowed by an established family's orbit and loses what made them unique. For Jacinda to work as Michael's partner, the writers would need to preserve her independence while still weaving her into his possible storylines. The options are intriguing. Perhaps Jacinda becomes a voice of reason for Michael, someone who challenges him to rethink his loyalty to destructive family patterns. Maybe she gets caught up in corporate drama at ELQ, giving her a storyline that intersects with Michael's business life. Or perhaps her background introduces new conflicts, family secrets, hidden agendas, or personal challenges that force Michael to step outside his comfort zone. The potential is there for the writers to create a multi-dimensional relationship, but it depends on how committed they are to Jacinda as a character. It's also worth noting that General Hospital has a long history of experimenting with pairings before settling on the ones that stick. Sometimes the writers tease a romance, only to pivot in another direction once they gauge audience reaction. If viewers don't respond strongly enough to Michael and Jacinda, the storyline could be quietly dropped. On the other hand, if fans rally behind them, the writers may double down and give them more material. That means the fate of this potential couple may depend as much on fan response as on the writers' intentions. So do Michael and Jacinda have real couple potential? The answer lies in the balance between what's on screen now and what could be built in the future. On screen now, we see a natural ease between them, a willingness to engage without the weight of history. We see hints of chemistry, though still in the early stages. We see an opportunity for both characters to grow in ways they haven't before. For Michael, it's a chance to break free from repetitive cycles. For Jacinda, it's a chance to claim her place in the General Hospital world. But potential isn't the same as guarantee. The writers need to tread carefully to avoid rushing the story. If they force the romance too quickly, it will feel artificial. If they let it breathe, allowing both characters to evolve while slowly deepening their connection, then the pairing could become one of the show's most surprising successes. At the end of the day, General Hospital thrives on unpredictability. Fans love to speculate, analyze glances, and debate future couples. Michael and Jacinda may or may not become the next big couple, but what makes them exciting right now is the possibility. The what-if factor keeps viewers invested. And until the writers make a definitive move, that possibility is enough to fuel endless discussions, debates, and fan theories. Because in soaps, the road to a relationship is just as important as the relationship itself. Watching characters circle each other, watching them slowly move from strangers to confidants to something more, that journey is where the real storytelling magic lies. If Michael and Jacinda are given that journey, if the writers invest in building it step by step, then yes, they absolutely have real couple potential. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel for all of your updates.